What is up, everyone? My name is Quentin, and today will be a very, very special video. So recently, I had a birthday on the 13th, and I actually wanted to do something very, very special. So I decided to rent a very special car. I decided to rent a 1991 Honda Beat, a car that I've always wanted to drive. We are going to go and drive to Birmingham because I actually found a company that rents these K cars out. It's a lot better than what we got in Turo. In Alabama, Turo is pretty much like regular cars that you find, but I actually found a cool car, and I've actually been spotting these things and wanting to drive them for a long, long time. If I sound weird, it's because my coworker gave me a code literally at the worst time. But we are going to head over there. We're going to leave this Miata over there. I got the car for the whole day. So today's going to be a really good day. We'll see you whenever I get there. Well, here we are, everyone. Miata's right here. The car's just right over there. Good morning.
How are you?
You doing good? How are you?
Good, I'm Russell.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Quentin.
to meet you, Quentin.
So this is the Beat.
This is the Beat.
I've always wanted to drive one of these. Wow. That is amazing.
It is hard to see the engine, but you can see a little bit of it. See the intake, the air cleaner, but most of it is up under the top. You have to take the top, disconnect the top, and then there's a plate underneath it that gives you a whole lot more access. But you can like check the oil from here.
Yeah. Oh man.
A little different than like maybe
Miata.
I got a new top made for it, and I had them put real glass instead of
Plastic.
the vinyl that always rots. So you have to unzip this before you put it back, otherwise it'll like try to bend the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So to do that, there's a zipper with a kind of a ring on it. That just goes all the way across. So you just kind of unzip it and the glass just falls down in the back.
Okay.
And then it's pretty like normal. You just got two clips up here, one on each side.
That's more or less how it is on the Miatas.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never owned a Miata. I tried to get in one, and I thought, I don't know. So I ended up buying something else. So then it just folds right back, and there you go.
That's perfect.
And then for putting it back, it's just the same thing. Once you get this up, don't hook it in until you zip the glass.
Mm-hmm. Don't hook it in until I zip the glass back on.
Right. And let's see, power windows, heater. It has a totally full tank, but the gas gauge does not work. Can't trust it. So if I were you, I would look at that odometer, and if you drive 200 kilometers, put more
Fill
gas
it up.
in.
Okay.
Super small tank. I think it's only 7 gallons, but generally, even if it's empty, you might only get like 5 gallons in there. So just be aware of that.
Okay.
And it's a clamshell design, so it opens forward. That's where the space saver spare tire and the jack is up there.
Yeah, the same way my Corvette opens up.
Yeah. Well,
That's pretty awesome.
new clutch, and the whole clutch assembly is new, and it shifts pretty darn good. It's a little weird to do it with your left hand, but it'll just fall into gear. You just go in that direction, it'll fall into the right place.
I've driven a few Jeeps that were right-hand drive for mail carriers.
Okay. So this won't be as weird for you as it is for me. It was really, and that's the other thing.
Turn signals.
The turn signals, yes, you already know. All right. You have my cell phone?
Wow, the Honda Beat. I have always wanted to drive one of these. 660cc, naturally aspirated, inline 3-cylinder, 64 horsepower, with an engine that revs all the way up to 10,000 RPM. I have always wanted to drive one of these, and well, here it is. Just like what I did with the Corvette last year, when I rented one of those for my birthday, I wanted to see if I actually would like Corvettes. As it turned out, I actually did. Maybe I might actually buy one of these one day if I actually enjoy it. I've had few experiences with K cars. When I was younger in college, one of my classmates had a Suzuki Cappuccino, and he let me sit in it one time he brought it to class, and that was my first experience with K cars. I've always liked them ever since. If you guys know me in real life, you know that pretty much the smaller the car, the more I'm going to like it. Now, looking at the Beat versus the Miata, it's actually not as small as I thought it would be. It's not really that much smaller than the Miatas. I mean, it's a little shorter, of course, but it's around the same size. Matter of fact, I think this car might actually still be longer than what my Abarth was. But it's definitely tight. But yeah, compared to both of them, yeah, they're about the same size. A little bit surprising, actually. So yeah, it's definitely a lot different than the C4.
This car makes me look perfect for you. This is my height. Where's the engine?
It's a mid-engine.
It's mid-engine. Crazy.
What's
size engine?
660 cc's.
Really?
It's more like a motorcycle engine.
3-cylinder? 4-cylinder?
3.
3-cylinder. Sweet.
64 horsepower.
Is it carbureted or fuel injected?
Fuel injected.
Sweet.
It actually has some special type of fuel injection.
It's pretty awesome.
I forgot what it's called. Excuse me. Yeah. Multi-throttle responsive engine control.
Crazy.
Oh, dang. It's cool.
You know, all the Japanese cars are that size. When you go over there, it's
High cars or something, what do they call them?
K cars.
K cars, yeah. It's really cool. I like it.
pretty awesome.
I like
man.
the K truck.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them more than what most people are driving now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, those
Yeah.
I hate those.
big luxury trucks.
They always go to the fast lane and go slow.
Or they're riding your butt when you're going fast in the
In a
middle
little
lane.
tiny car and you feel like you're gonna get run over. I'm with you. Painful.
Yeah, I usually drive a Miata and a Corvette, and they don't see me at all.
At all. Yep. What year is this thing?
It's a 91
91. What's it called?
Honda Beat.
Honda Beat.
Yeah, I've seen these on Bring a Trailer.
You can rent this one off of a website called Rent K Car Birmingham
Really?
for $105 a day.
Sweet.
This same one?
Yep,
Oh.
I rented this for my birthday.
So it's not, so this isn't yours, that's just your birthday car?
Yep.
You just rented it?
hmm
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
Only $105 a day.
Dude, that's cool as shit, dude.
You get the truck.
Huh?
You get the truck.
They got a van and they have a Daihatsu midget. Yep,
No, I gotta check that out. What's it
What
called?
about the cappuccino? They got one of them?
they do, but it's automatic.
Oh. Well, I've never driven on this side, so I'll probably get that first. So I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
That's gonna be the next one I get.
Next event, you know what I mean?
It's,
Pull up in these things and like that.
Did you find it? Yep, you found it.
So cool.
These guys are nice too. They had it ready for me and everything. I just left my Miata over there.
Oh, you have a Miata? What year?
91.
91?
What's it called? What's the name?
Rent K Birmingham.
Like K-E-I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So cool. This thing is
And they also work on them, apparently.
That's so cool, man.
I'm gonna rent one of these.
I think they just started like earlier this year.
But actually, no, and then I'll get.
I've got rent.
People are definitely interested in this thing. This is why I like car enthusiasm. That thing is awesome. Let me show you. I have been having a blast with this thing all day. And I'll be honest, I don't think I would have ever imagined winning Cars and Coffee. But I did it with this car. This thing has really been an experience. This thing is so fun to drive. I love the way it looks. It's just, wow. I've gotten used to driving this car. It's pretty much become second nature to me. I still miss like third, but this thing is awesome. It kind of feels like a Honda Del Sol inside. This engine, this 660cc inline 3 sounds like an Acura NSX, and it revs up just like one too. This thing is, wow. I can't imagine like owning one of these things. I really, really enjoyed this thing. But let me show you guys how this thing drives. Now, you guys are probably wondering, do I fit? Now, before I try it, I want you guys to know that I am 5'11", 281 pounds, a bit heavy, but I fit in my Corvette pretty well, and I fit in my Miata pretty well. So I want to show you guys what it's like. Now, this car is actually about roughly the size of the Abarth that I used to have. So it's actually pretty roomy in here. So but it's pretty roomy in here. When you first get into these things, they're going to feel kind of tight. They're going to feel kind of tight. But if you're used to driving like small vehicles like I am, it actually becomes natural to you after like about 30 minutes of driving. Now this thing actually feels pretty roomy to me, and everything is in reach, no problems. My feet aren't too big for the pedals like a lot of people seem to have problems with these K cars, but I fit here pretty well. Actually, no problem at all. Alright guys, we are in the Honda Beat, getting ready to drive. I got everything set up, and now let's start it up. Now if you're used to old Hondas, this won't really be much of a difference to you. As I said before, this thing's kind of like driving a Honda Del Sol. It's definitely buzzy, but the engine itself is really smooth actually. This thing has been really fun to drive today. I've been behind the wheel of this thing pretty much all day today. You can see everything in this car, really. It's definitely a driving experience that I recommend anybody to enjoy. Because this thing is so fun. Type R. Now it does take getting used to being on the right side. But other than that, this thing is pretty easy to drive overall. This car has no power steering, so it's a little heavy, of course, but once you get used to that, it seems like driving pretty much a mid-engine Honda Civic, really. It's fun as hell. You get a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of attention in this car. I mean, you guys saw what all those people in Cars and Coffee. I don't even get that much attention in my Corvette, a car that also gets a lot of attention. But people know what a Corvette is. Nobody's ever seen one of these in person. Wow, just listen to that howl. It does take getting used to reading in kilometers. But really, if you're just going the speed of traffic, you should be fine. A Kona N, wow. While we're stuck behind this NPC, let me tell you the specs of this car. This car is a 660cc inline 3. It's naturally aspirated. It was the most powerful K car to come out until, well, the Suzuki Cappuccino has the same power, but it has a lot more torque because of the turbo. This is really more my style, a more raw feeling car with a high revving engine. It's really one of the reasons I like Honda so much. It's one of my top 3 favorite brands, and they make my favorite engines. But this car was able to make that kind of power naturally aspirated. It has a special fuel injection system called an M-Trek. Whenever we get done with this drive, I'll show you what it means, because honestly, I forgot. I was explaining to a guy in Cars and Coffee. But this thing is really responsive. It really is. This is probably the most responsive engine that I've ever had. And the other 2 are Hondas as well, which is, it really says a lot about the brand. When people look at you, they smile. I mean, this thing is highly unusual, and it really does fit my personality and the type of cars I'm into anyway. I just love the way it sounds. You guys are going to get a pure driving experience video after I'm done filming this one. And you guys will really get to see how this thing is like to drive. This thing is mostly stock. I think it might have like a special air filter, because I don't see an intake in there. It's kind of hard to see the engine. Because I doubt that these things roar this much stock. I see some oil catch cans in there, and that was about the only thing I can see. But this thing drives phenomenally. It's comfortable too. You'd think that something like this would be highly uncomfortable, but no. This car is probably just about as comfortable as the Miata. In all honesty, the driving experience isn't much different from the Miata. It really does feel like I'm driving a Miata. A mid-engine Miata, well, better sounding engine. Oh yeah. Whoops. I gotta fix that. Come on, C5. The reason why there's so many crazy cars out here is because this is Barber Motorsports. They probably got a track day going on. One thing you gotta worry about with these Japanese cars is that the turn signals are opposite from everywhere else, really. And I actually kind of forgot about that. I'm gonna go fix these wipers before I continue, and I'll be right back. Alright, I got the embarrassing situation taken care of. I wouldn't recommend driving this car in the rain. Ooh, almost made that mistake again. It's exactly what I like. A car that's not very fast, but you can rev the hell out of it without getting into trouble. I love cars like this. So I like the Miata so much. I would actually love it if I had this engine and the Miata. That would be amazing. And even then, this thing's not extremely slow. That's 60 right there. I can take it on the highway if I needed to. I wouldn't want to. And if I do ever get one of these, it will never see the highway. Unless I really had to. This thing's great. I really think I found a car that I might like more than the Miata. If this thing was if this thing was left-hand drive, wow, this thing would be perfect. Because this is a good size, it's not terribly small. It's that same tossability factor that you get with the Miata. But this car is even smaller. It weighs a good, like, 300, 400 pounds less than the NA6. And you feel it. The engine sounds so good. I've always loved 3-cylinder engines. Heck, my work vehicle is a 3-cylinder. And even though it's a crappy economy car, I actually really like the way it sounds. The way it sounds is amazing. Something happened here. Well, guys, it is now nighttime. I spent the whole day with this car and I've really enjoyed it. This, in all honesty, has been one of my favorite driving experiences that I've ever felt. that I've ever gotten to experience, really. This thing is great. It's not super fast. Well, it's not fast at all, really. This thing is super slow, but it feels like you're going so fast in this thing. I mean, a 660cc inline 3 making 64 horsepower that revs all the way up to 8,500 RPM. This thing just, wow. Just the sounds and the way the car feels, how small it is, the vibrations. It really, really just makes this car feel like you're driving way faster than what you actually are. The limits of this car is so low that just going like 60 around a bend feels like you're going like 100 in a Corvette. I really love these type of cars. Ones with low power, low limits. They're just the most fun to drive, and you can't really get in trouble driving these things. That's why I like the Miata so much. That's why I like the Civic so much. These cars, you can really just drive them to the absolute limit, and you really won't be endangering anything but the engine, really. This thing has really been great. It's been so fun. And really, if I ever have to get rid of the Miata, I think this will be my next car, in all honesty. If you have a Miata, an NA or an MB, you can drive one of these. The space on these things, it's actually around the same. I mean, look at all that space you get. I fit in this thing without any problems. I'm 5'11", 280 pounds. And I fit in there with the top up, with a lot of headroom still left. It's really perfect, really, for a weekend car. I don't know about it being a daily. If you live around the city and you don't have to drive on a highway, yeah, it'll work. If you do have to drive on a highway, once you get up to 70, and yeah, it will go over 70, it starts to shake like what this Civic would do at over 100. But man, this was such an experience. I really love this thing. I do not want to give it back. I really don't. This is so fun. You get so much attention to while driving this thing. People stopping you, asking questions about it. I mean, you saw it with Cars and Coffee, how I pretty much got bombarded by everyone else there. And that was the first time I've actually been there since, really, I bought the Corvette like over a year ago. Well, nearly a year ago. But, wow. This was pretty awesome. I filmed a video of me just driving it throughout my favorite mountain on the tailgate, and man, that video is going to be so awesome to watch. I can't wait. Well, if you guys want to see some more content like this, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.